Lawn subcommittee. There you go. Good. Everybody's in. What's aggravation for me? What's aggravation for me?
Good evening and welcome to the regular town board meeting for the town of Tustin for June the 9th, 2026. We'll call the meeting to order. Start with pledge to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the There's one announcement. The planning board meeting this month, which is normally June the 23rd, will be held on Wednesday, June the 24th at 6:30 p.m. That's also been posted. Payment of bills. The general fund dispersed $14,947.31. The highway $46,027.08. Water district $9,183.72. The sewer district $14,920.60. The capital water $5,757.65 for a total of $90,836.36. I believe Bruce and Kevin did the bill. Issue or comments, questions? I would accept a motion to pay the bills as presented. So moved.
I'll second it.
Further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed. Our division reports, those that are not done here in person, will be posted or are posted on the website for review. Water and sewer.
Yeah, the big headline is that Delaware Engineering and Rutledge were here, had a good meeting, and we got a pretty detailed schedule from Delaware Engineering. Work preparation will begin just after Labor Day through November-ish, and the hard stuff will begin in May of 2027 and to be done by November-ish 2027. So, and then Craig, I know, got a booster pump for well 2, and there's some flanges and valves that I don't understand, but he's working on those. But again, getting well 2 back online would be a big deal.
Yes, it would. Okay, parks and public spaces.
We had a very productive meeting, and the big news is we are going to be voting on next meeting in July from 6 to 6:30 p.m. on potential finalists for the renaming of the park, which a subcommittee has gathered a list of names, and I've been accepting other names on by email, and that again will be for the voting on July 14th from 6 to 6:30. The finalists that we have so far, the list we had as of this is in the notes. And Ben and I had a productive meeting where we walked the park earlier this week. We have ordered the bleachers from the grant that we got, and those should be here by July 1st.
They're being shipped tentatively on the 22nd.
Yeah, so hopefully by the 4th of July weekend, we'll have those. And again, the big headline is that the naming will commence right here before the town board meeting next meeting, July 14th from 6 to 6:30. Oh, and if you have any ideas that you would like to submit, just shoot me a quick email with your suggestions, gtriggs@townoftustin.gov.
Segue into building.
Got some repairs and some supplies that we're waiting on. We also have some estimates that we are hoping to get sometime soon to move forward with some of the repair projects. but the notes, are very detailed and I think they give you everything you need to know.
Thank you. Jane,
Which are grants?
whichever you want.
Well, did we get a check yet for 75,000? Not
Not
yet.
that I'm aware of.
Okay, well, they haven't told me that there were any problems. This is National Fish and Wildlife. They haven't come back to me with any problems, so I'm anticipating it should be arriving in a reasonable amount of time. And thank you, Crystal, for ordering the bleachers from that. Were you able to order the bases and?
I did not order the bases just yet. I'm just trying to verify that I have the best price. I do have a couple spots on the Sourcewell and another website. I want to make sure we have the right ones.
And how about the elliptical?
I asked her to find out, see if there's another price out there for that also.
Okay,
And
okay,
and we reached out to the county about the clay and sand, see if we can get a contracted award price.
okay. And then I have not heard anything yet from the archives folks, and as far as the UGC grant goes, we have been working on the zoning update, so that's all good, and we should have that finalized in time for the final report. I think that is those, the grants, and the CAC, I keep saying every meeting that we're going to do something, and we are. We talk about it at zoning all the time, but we haven't decided what yet. So I guess that's grants and CAC. Yep.
Did you need something that we discussed today from the board tonight?
Just that, yes, you want to save it under new business or?
Well, it's kind of a grant sort of.
Okay. Okay, I'm requesting, I've been trying to get senior housing forever because Jim Crowley told me I can't retire until we get senior housing. And I'm ready, so, I have to do it.
For the housing or the recovery?
You're ready. Yes.
Anyway, with that in mind, of course, the town is not gonna spend any money or buy, you get senior housing. But there are grants out there, and we would like to work with, going forth through the steps that are always necessary with a feasibility and planning study, and then we go forward with another request, blah, blah, blah. And in order to get funding for that, and we would like to work for Pattern for Progress. And in order to get funding for that, New York State requires that we become a pro-housing community certified. And so what I'm asking the board to do, and it changes nothing the way that we do things, but I'm asking the board to please let us send this letter of intent to the pro-housing Department for certification for pro-housing. Basically, they'd like you to make sure that you have certain things in your zones and zoning, and we have it. So we're not changing anything and working with Pattern for Progress. There's no cost to us, but this is for a CFA grant, and that's due July 31st. So that's why I'm asking if the board would approve that tonight. Is there anything else, Kathleen?
And Jim's aware of this? You've talked to him about this?
Why? No, I haven't talked with him about this.
Yeah, my conversation with Jane today was we sent it to the board. And I want to put it to Peter Manning and to Jim just to make sure that so it might end up getting voted on the July meeting so that they can still make their timeline, as long as I get a send off.
Well, I hate to be pushy about it, but it's kind of hard to expect them to write the whole grant, put that information in the grant and the gist. And we have a reset.
Well, I mean, yeah, we could recess just on that particular point,
Yeah.
but I don't feel comfortable without having, especially Peter's input.
Oh, I don't have
Yeah.
a problem with that guy. What I think Peter is great, knows.
And does that seem reasonable?
So you're anti-senior housing?
No, I'm anti-Jane retiring.
Oops, that's good, that's good.
Oh. Well, too bad.
No, it all sounds good, but it's like when you say it will change nothing and it's pro-housing, as opposed to what? You would never be an anti-housing town. I mean, it's the
No,
vague.
well, pro-housing means that, you don't have zoning stops. And,
No, I
you know,
understand, and I'm, in principle, all for this, it's the vagueness of it. That I'd love to hear from these guys who.
Yeah, I think between Jim and Peter, we have.
okay,
Right,
fine, that's fine. As long as we can just have a recess and.
Yeah,
get
there's no
into
reason we
that
can't
before.
do that. Anything else?
No, but I feel like a failure tonight.
Oh, my.
Not for long, no.
Old business. 3.1. As Greg had mentioned, that the town is inviting residents to participate in a community-driven park renaming process. We will do that between 6 and 6:30.
July 14th.
I don't think we need a board resolution for that, but I would make a board resolution to assist the Parks and Open Space Committee by having that at that time. How's that? A
I'll
second,
second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is there any other old business that the board has before we go into new business? Fingers?
That's the one.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm gonna leave that comment right there. New business, 4.1. We have a request for a permanent weight restriction on Lackawaxen Road. The board has been forwarded a letter from Charlie Hoffman. I will read that letter for the public. Dear members of the town board, I am writing to strongly support making the weight restrictions on Lackawaxen Road permanent. The attached photographs show the current condition of the road and provide clear evidence of the damage that has occurred despite the fact that Lackawaxen Road was recently repaved. It is deeply concerning that a road improvement with taxpayer funds is already showing signs of deterioration. This raises serious questions about the suitability of heavy truck traffic on a roadway that was not designed to accommodate repeated use by overweight vehicles. The damage visible today is not only a maintenance issue, but also a financial issue. Residents should not be expected to bear the cost of repeated repairs caused by heavy vehicles that place extraordinary stress on the roadway. Without permanent weight restrictions, the cycle of damage and repair will continue, resulting in unnecessary expenses for the town and its taxpayers. Beyond the cost, there are important safety concerns. Roadway deterioration creates hazards for motorists, cyclists, pedestrians, emergency responders, and residents who rely on Lackawaxen Road every day. As the road surface and shoulders degrade, the risk of accidents and further infrastructure damage increases. The attached photos demonstrate that the recent repaving has not provided a lasting solution to current traffic conditions. Allowing continued heavy truck use will only accelerate the road's decline and shorten the lifespan of future repairs. For these reasons, I urge the town board to enact permanent weight restrictions on Lackawaxen Road and to ensure that they are effectively enforced. Doing so will provide public investment, improve safety, reduce long-term maintenance costs, and preserve the quality of life for residents along the corridor. Thank you for your attention to this important matter and for your service to the town of Tustin. Respectfully, Charlie Hoffman. And he has on there the photographs that the board does have, and if anybody from the board needs those, I do have hard copies of them.
Oh, you know,
That's why I made it. So we do, the board does have the ability to put a permanent weight restriction on the road. I've had conversations with the highway superintendent. At this time, and I've mentioned that to Charlie, that the highway superintendent is not in favor of putting a permanent weight restriction on the road. There's been conversations with the New York State Department of Transportation. Charlie's had conversations with them also. For truck traffic, because there is another way. The Lackawaxen Road begins on Route 97 in the town of Tustin. It goes into the Irish Town Road in the town of Highland and comes out on the county road in Hewland 22. So one of the issues I believe that has plagued Charlie and in this is that there is a operator that has equipment that does utilize the Lackawaxen Road. My conversations with that business has been that they've been using the other way out through the 22. My conversations with Don are the two roads are pretty much the same. The road on the Irish Town section, it starts in our town and ends up in the town of Highland. It's the same width, it's the same materials. So he's not in favor of, but we could have a discussion regarding that. Or questions that the board has regarding that.
What other roads in town have weight restrictions?
All roads have weight restrictions in the winter that we pass here. Other than that, they don't have a weight restriction. We restrict them through the winter because of frost heave. And some we actually just close the traffic. This is not a normal thing, but I will give Charlie, because you've spent a lot of time on it. If you want to come up and just present to the board your questions.
You're fine. I mean, I understand that.
Oh, well, that is for the Zoom participants. Yeah.
Normally, I can go.
And you have to push the button.
Yeah.
Oh. It's like being in front of Congress. Look at, do I have to hold it? No, I don't have to hold it. Oh, my gosh. Well, you know, Ben and I had ongoing conversations about not only truck traffic, but the condition of Lackawaxen Road. It initially started with the speed that was being on travelers on that road. We were successful with the town board to get with the state, get the speed reduced to 35 miles an hour. Last summer, the Lackawaxen Road was repaved. But unfortunately, I don't know why, I don't know who, but I'd like to find out who approved payment to those individuals who repaved it. Because they did not pave the entire existing road. In some places, the road is inches to a foot shorter in width-wise. In front of my house, you would expect the road to be 18 feet, at least 18 feet, perhaps 19 or 20. It's only 16. And that goes up quite a ways. And if you get two cars coming side by side, they're oftentimes cars are forced all the way off onto the shoulder. Now, I talked to Don. Don was supposed to come back and back those roads up after they were repaved. That was not done. So what you had are huge ditches on both sides of the road that are not backed up. You have truck traffic. Some of these trucks are in excess of 109 ton. 90 ton and 109 ton. If you have any idea, those trucks alone are, correct me if I'm wrong, then at least 15 feet wide.
No, I don't think they can be. Because your lanes are,
14?
your lanes are,
Do they exceed the width of the road?
you've got 12-foot lanes on state highways, so they can't be wider than
Okay,
a state
but
highway.
on Lackawaxen Road, there's not enough room for those size vehicles to navigate past one another. So those trucks or the person coming in the opposite direction are forced off onto the shoulder or nearly into the ditch. And
Yeah,
some of those ditches are 4 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet, 10 feet deep with water running on it. Hydrology reasons as well, as Ben and I talked today, it's an older road. It does not have a substantive base to it. It's sand. And a lot of that mountain water that comes off Tustin navigates underneath that road. And when you have these heavy trucks running all year round, especially in wet seasons, including the winter, when it is dry heave and so on, or frost heaving, it adds to the dimension of it. And there are multiple routes to go. They don't have to go this way, but what we're getting are trucks taking shortcuts from Ullin to 97, loaded with lumber, loaded with heavy equipment, tandem loads of cut lumber. It is and the road is not meant to do that. It's just not. And I don't even feel safe walking on the road anymore, especially with the number of trucks that come through. And that shouldn't be. I don't think anybody who lives in the flats would appreciate those kinds of trucks coming through there. And those roads are wider than Lackawaxen. And anybody, I bet you've been on Lackawaxen at least, you know that there are plenty of blind turns and you don't see these trucks coming until they're on top of you. So I'm asking the town to protect their investment. And now that you're on notice for the potentiality of somebody getting injured, to put a weight restriction on the road. But by just making it not only just seasonal, but keeping it in place year round. I think it's a reasonable request. I think it's a logical request. I think it reduces the town's liability.
Great, thank you.
And, but let me just say one other thing. I talked to Don too, and he was in favor of when we talked.
Okay,
Because he talked to one of the individuals that's involved. And his words were, I personally can't repeat them. But in essence that I'm just going to say it does not align with protecting what we need to protect. We have to protect our investment. How much did we spend for Lackawaxen Road?
I would have to go back.
Who signs off on the payment?
If there's an issue, it would be the highway superintendent would let us know, but
So it's already been signed and paid.
oh yeah, that was paid for last.
Who inspects it after the job is done?
That would be the highway superintendent.
Okay, so that individual saw that the fact that the roads weren't.
You're asking me to
Okay,
answer questions for him.
Has there any been moved to the individuals who paved the road to come back and fix any of it?
I don't have an answer to that because
So I would ask that in lieu of those answers, that you put a weight restriction on the road until substantive repairs can be made. And the roads can be backed up properly and guide rails where appropriate can be put to keep people from being run off the road. Thank you.
you're welcome. I'm gonna table this till next month, and we can talk with Don. There seems to be a miscommunication there, but I think the board will be happier if I have a figurative conversation with Don and I can bring any questions that the board has to it. But to keep in mind that the road that goes from 97 to the town of Highland, where the county road is, they're both the same roads.
No, they're not, because that road is perfectly straight all the way down to Rose's property. Lackawaxen Road pitches and turns and has blind turns on it. Deep Hollow Road and Irish Town Road do not have that.
Any questions from the board?
I'm just more comfortable hearing
Okay.
Don's point of view.
I,
I'd like to know why Don isn't here at the meeting.
Don's not required to be at a town board meeting. He's an
He knew
elected.
this was on the agenda.
He knew it was on the agenda and he said that he was not in favor of a weight restriction. I'll bring him into the next meeting if he wishes to.
My question is, he's not interested in it. If we're gonna go with that, then how does the board feel
I think
about?
from what I'm hearing from the board is they would like to hear that from Don as opposed to hearing it from me and my conversation with Don. So we're gonna invite Don in to have a conversation and, come to a conclusion that way. I mean,
If we, but in terms of the grading of the road, the fact that he's not in favor, it has nothing to do with the conditions continuing to backslide.
this particular issue of heavy trucks on town roads and singling a particular, road out over all of the other ones, it's a problem that we have all throughout town. If you look at Grassy Swamp Road and you look at the condition of Grassy Swamp Road compared to Lackawaxen Road or even to the Irish Town Road going through the town of Highland, you're gonna see a road that, you know, you would not like. How,
I think Waxen is unique because it's used as a shortcut for these trucks between 97 and 21.
a lot of time, I can't dispute that because I don't have that information. But I will tell you things like, when one of my neighbors put a pond in, those trucks came up 97, they turned into Lackawaxen. They came up the Coshecton Turnpike, went past my house, and then delivered what they needed to do. They could not come in the Grassy Swamp because they could not make the swing. They couldn't come in from the Moll's Pond end because they couldn't make the swing coming onto the Coshecton Turnpike. So some of the traffic that you're seeing is not necessarily through traffic. They're reworking the Rock Lake Dam. You're gonna see some cement trucks coming down your road because they can't come down the Moll's Pond Road, go to the Coshecton Turnpike and make the right-hand turn. They're gonna have to come up Lackawaxen Road. They're gonna have to get down Coshecton Turnpike. So, you know, I don't have all of the answers for you. It is not as a unique of a problem to Lackawaxen Road as you think it is to the other roads in the town of Tustin.
Okay, what are we going to do about the fact the road is degrading in less than a year after being repaved and resurfaced?
Well, that'll be a conversation that I can have with the highway superintendent.
He told me it was gonna be backed up and it hasn't been backed up.
I cannot speak for the highway superintendent.
See, that's a problem. He should be here at these town board meetings.
Your highway superintendent, as you know, is a separate elected official that does not answer to the town of Tustin Town Board.
Eagles was here. So was,
You're comparing something, Chuck, that I have no control over, okay? That is all stuff that's in the past, but we are separate entities, just like the town clerk is a separate entity. The only control that we have is like Congress with the purse strings on them. We have a good working relationship, but I will invite him in to have a conversation with the board so that we can discuss it further. You know, because I brought to the board what he said to me. That's all I can do. That's all I can say is this is what he said to me. If the board wants more, we'll invite him in to have some conversation. Okay,
But I don't.
again, I wasn't there at that conversation, so.
I appreciate it, but I don't understand why the road continues to be degraded and not backed up.
I can't, you're asking me to answer questions that I can't. You know, we have long conversations about many things, but
Oh,
I
you
can't,
don't? Yes.
I can't answer questions for somebody else if I don't know that answer.
I appreciate it, and I don't mean to put anybody in a position, but he knew this was coming up.
I think he felt fine with his answer to me when I had my conversation with him, that he could relay that to the board, so.
But his position has nothing to do with the current conditions we see. So I'm asking the board to put in effect a weight restriction until such time as he makes the repairs and the road is back, because it's not fair to us as taxpayers, continue to watch our investment be dismantled. Now, if you say, when you're saying there's other truck traffic, there's such things as you and I have talked about, is getting a permit to come across it, or whatever it happens to be. But the road was not meant for 90-ton and 109 and 120-ton trucks. Just not. Especially at the volume you're suggesting.
And to be clear, if it was weight restricted like that, we still would not be able to preclude trucks that need to get from point A to point B, if that is part of the,
But they'd also be responsible for any damage they did.
they already are responsible for damage they do. Okay.
If somebody damages your road, they're responsible whether there's a weight limit or not.
Yeah,
We
which
already
I,
have another road that's being damaged and you're going after them.
right, I've got an issue on Moore Pond Road and the Kentucky
We
Turnpike.
know that.
But that
this
damage,
would cause them, right in front of mine, by a particular truck. I don't know, are we going after them to repair that part of the road too?
I'm not familiar with the damage that you're talking about.
I sent you pictures. I mean.
Oh, this. I know who committed the damage on the Moores Pond Road and the Coshocton Turnpike. I could not say who did any of this damage unless we actually witnessed it. Okay, and this damage that you're showing is
It goes
not,
up and down.
right,
Up and down.
that's not the damage I'm talking about on the Moores Pond and Coshocton Turnpike. I'm talking about a complete loss of a roadway from heavy trucks that were doing
We're
work.
talking about 90-ton, 110-ton, 120. We're not talking about, your local delivery truck. We're talking about the huge trucks that are carrying feed.
The damage that I'm talking about was done by triaxle dump trucks, which are probably half
Well,
the
with these
ton.
low boys, when they make the corner on Lackawaxen Road, they're digging up the road there too, because they don't have enough.
I'm putting this off unless the board wishes further comment on it. And I will check with Don about if he wishes to have a conversation with the board at the recess meeting, or I could bring questions to him.
I still would like to know, it's just as a side, to know how the road's going to be repaired and made safe. For not only.
That's not a question for me, that's a question for the highway superintendent. We don't, we pay to have the roads fixed.
We're to ask those questions.
well, we can ask him. That's easy to
If
do.
you have the documentation, and I hate to see someone, a person on a bicycle or a motorcycle get injured as a result of the sides of the road breaking away. It's now you're on notice.
4.2, seasonal contract for the porta potties at the multi-generational park. We got quotes for the porta potties. Two companies did not return a quote. The third company was $640 a month, and the other company was $353 a month. That was Reeves, and those are the people that are already there. So, make a motion to continue with the contract, the seasonal contract for the porta potties at the multi-generational park for the 2026 year.
I'll second that.
Further conversation? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed. 4.3 is the July 4th Fireman's Parade, a motion to allow the fire department to close off the necessary highways, which will be Bridge, Main, and Erie for the Fireman's Parade.
You need a motion?
Thank you. I'll second it.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Riverfest is to Sunday, July 26th. Requesting the Main Street closure that they do every year for their festival, with the same stipulations that we've done in the past with the post office and the notification to the feed and grain store.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye, opposed. Jane has a letter that, we should get some more information on, and for that purpose, we will recess so that she's got time to get that back. What do we have for a schedule for everyone?
Can we try and get done at that meeting? Yeah.
I would say that that would be a good idea. Then we can shoot two eagles with one arrow.
how long do you
We won't have
need,
fireworks.
Jane?
Don't take the feather.
Two eagles with one firecracker.
Any days better than others? Do we wanna,
Jane, do you know how long you'll need?
It's really the Jim, I think you want Jim to, and Peter to review, so they could do that ahead of time and
oh yeah,
either a yay or a nay. for
Yeah.
This.
so that could be, I can talk to them Thursday. Peter, I can talk to, I can send him an email now anyway. Speak with Jim Thursday.
So early next week?
We could either do next week sometime, or the week after.
Well, the sooner the better, I
Okay.
think, just giving them.
I could do-
the strategy.
Tuesday, the 18th.
We're in June.
Tuesday, it's not an
16th.
18th, that's a 16th.
Well, there you go.
Uh,
We could do that Tuesday.
the
I was
earliest
thinking
I
of
can,
next year.
the earliest I can do is Wednesday. I will be on the road Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, but I can be back in time for a meeting.
Do you want to do early Thursday?
Doesn't matter. I mean, I'll be back Wednesday, probably by noontime, 1 o'clock, so we could. As long as everybody, whatever works for everybody.
Yeah, Wednesdays.
Like a 5 o'clock, maybe 4 o'clock.
It can be even earlier than that.
Two-ish?
Have fun. You won't see me.
I,
Yeah, I mean,
do
2 is
5
fine.
o'clock.
Two, I think, two on the 17th.
Is that good for you, Jane?
At 5 o'clock,
At 5 o'clock?
yeah,
Why so late? Don't say mine, John.
okay, I won't.
How late does Don work?
3, 4.
Well, it's, yeah, from that perspective, Don has, you could start whatever, 3:30 is that, or 3:30?
We can start at 2. Because if we're approving it, you don't have to be here.
Oh, yes, I do. How about we do it in the morning?
I will
He'll
be
be
back.
active.
Do it at whatever time is best. I will be here.
How about 3:30?
3:30.
Recess.
And that was on the 17th.
And we'll have to put that on the website, right? For,
Yeah, that's fine. Since we're only recessing it, it doesn't need to hit the papers, we can. Now, do we have any other new business that we've missed? If not, I'm going to open public comment. I'll start with the Zoom. Do we have anybody in Zoom? Nope.
No.
Jim looks hardly interested.
looks
Party wave though.
Public comment from the floor.
He's like, oh my God.
I'm gonna go, you went first, so go ahead.
Is it gonna be a mail-in / email option for the naming of the park?
We were planning on letting people contribute. There is a front runner from the online discourse we've gotten. But we were planning on doing it in person.
Right, I just won't be around for,
Okay.
do it in person.
Maybe you can give someone your proxy and send them.
There you
This is in California.
I have 2 things.
First, I'd like to request a table at Riverfest for my continued dog education for the town. I think the fee is $50.
You've got that in your budget, so.
Yeah.
I don't,
But I think Crystal makes the arrangements with the people who run the event.
no, that's fine.
My second thing is, I've been in talks with a local vet about a free rabies clinic for the town of Tustin. Because, you know, the county does 3 free rabies clinics. One in April, one in June, and one in August, which are located in, Livingston Firehouse, Hannafy Park, and Morningside Park, which are all 45 minutes to an hour away, according to how fast you drive. So there's nothing on this side. So I've been in talks with the vet. He's willing to do the labor and all of that. I've been talking with Ag and Markets. There is a program where they supply the vaccines, the syringes, the tag, and the certificates. But before I move any further, I wanted to see if the location, if this room would be available, because you need a location with a front door and a back door to cause any riots with dogs and cats.
We used to do it in the firehouse.
Firehouse.
Right, so my only thing that's holding me back is the location.
Okay, I would say here, yes.
Okay.
But I would check with the firehouse, because if they're available, that tended to work better.
Yeah,
But
Yeah,
if they say no, then,
because it would probably be in October. This way,
you know,
because it's up to you guys, the board, if you want it to be open to others outside of the town of Tustin, or just to the town of Tustin residents. So that's why I figured October, there won't be too many people here, seasonal people. You know, we try to get things just for free. But, you know, there are a lot of people that tell me they can't afford the rabies shot.
right, but the town isn't. It's,
not indebted to it, no.
yeah, I mean, it's not gonna cost us any.
No,
if
If I get 100 vaccines,
Yeah.
you know, if I get 100 vaccines, limit it to the first 100. It's
Right.
first come, first served. So, yeah, we could open it up to
What I,
neighboring people on the west
I think
here.
what I would do is, if you get 100 vaccines, they go to your residents first, and then whatever you can
Right.
backfill.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's a great idea. We haven't had a
Yeah,
rabies
because,
clinic.
you know, for
not in
people,
years.
I even offer to drive, people say, I can't afford it. I said, well, the date is coming up. I'll drive your dog for you. I'll get it done. I'll bring your dog back. And then you're not comfortable with that. So if we had something more local for Weston Sullivan, that would be great. Because I even reached out to the health department who runs the one, but, and they won't come over here. They said, no way. It's the same place all 3 times. We're not coming to Weston Sullivan.
Yep,
you
we
know.
can work with
So-
Crystal to get it.
Yeah,
Do we know how many dogs show up
I don't
for
know what
these
the attendance,
other?
what do you think we would get a good attendance?
They
Well, I
used
was just wondering what these other ones get to
They-
give us a
They
context.
get about 100. Yeah, they get.
I know Carol used to do them when she
We
was-
take our dogs, all the free ones. All our dogs.
Is it dogs and-
Dogs, cats, and ferrets.
Those cats and ferrets.
Yeah.
Who needs a rabies
Yep.
vaccine,
Mm.
we can also notify
Yeah.
people that there's going to be a free.
What about-
They said dogs, cats and ferrets.
Cats, yeah, well, no, it's not required by the town. But
Tell
you
them-
should.
That would be one.
The cat is
because usually
usually
they do it for
outside
3
more
years
than a
now.
dog.
Yeah.
Most people's cat, you know, cats are outside,
Custodians, but.
you know, there's no law on a cat. We don't have any law.
Custodians love it.
Tell them they have
If
to
you
be-
really care for your cat, your pet, you should get it, especially if the
So
shots are
would they
free,
be, okay.
you know, so.
Tell them they have to
Alright,
be
so-
in the dog parade. at the DPS. You got it, that's the only prerequisite.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
if
spoke
you're the
about
dog-
having it at an event, but then,
Yeah, you
No.
don't want to do the event. It's
you
gotta
know,
go stand alone.
it's like the noise, it just has to be in one door, out the other, quiet environment for the dogs. So I'll continue my talk with Ag and Market and with the vet. And we'll see if we can come up with a date, and then I can bring it to the August or September meeting, try to secure the date.
Okay.
Okay, who do I speak to at the firehouse?
You can talk to Dave Casey, you can talk to Art Hawk, or they'll bring it to whoever they have to. They might have to bring it to the commissioners. It's hard to say.
Okay,
They'll figure it out.
all right, so I
So you've
wanna
got
talk,
here-
because if they're a nay, then we have to
Yeah,
use.
absolutely.
Okay,
We can use-
all right, thanks.
Yes.
The testing that whoever did for free on the PFAS. for the
That was
water-
the Department of Health. They haven't gotten the results yet.
Oh, okay, so any quotation of what?
That's more of a Craig question, but it sounds like, I'll ask, it'll come up. Yeah, just, he hasn't gotten the result yet.
Well, once you get the results, you'll maybe announce them here or something.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah. Well,
Otherwise, who's gonna
I
ask
understand that. That Craig would be.
Michael,
I'm going to amplify something Greg had in his report there. This is the 250th anniversary of the founding of our nation. And it's actually an appropriate time for us to now honor the namesake of our town. Benjamin Tustin was a Revolutionary War hero. At the Battle of Minisink Ford, he made the ultimate sacrifice and paid the ultimate price. As a result, our town is named in his honor. Yet he remains a mystery to most visitors who come here, and frankly, to many of our town residents, exactly who he was and what he did. Not suggesting that we erect a statue or a monument, but at least we can have a commemorative in some prominent place in the downtown core that honors the sacrifice. It's long overdue, and there's no better time to do it than now during the 250th anniversary of the founding of our country. And as always, thank you for your time.
And I'd just like to add that, at that meeting, we agreed that I would speak to the Historical Society about that, and I spoke to Art and, several other members. And, there is notation, but not in the downtown area, so, we were gonna bring it back to the whole group and see where or what.
okay.
I don't know if that helps.
Other public comment from the floor? Yes.
Question. I think it, something that you mentioned earlier, Gang. You mentioned, senior housing, and you smiled and laughed and all, and I wasn't sure if you were kidding around or no. Okay, so I'm not familiar with what senior housing means to the town of Tustin.
That's interesting that you say that, because we just were working on a definition at the zoning meeting.
Okay, and of course, a definition, and what else does it mean to the town of Tustin? I mean, is it the location, who, for who, how much for the taxpayers? 10,000 questions and what it means. Is there a spot that I could find that?
Well, of course, we don't have the answers totally, because we don't have a place or
Okay,
anything like that.
what does it mean at this?
The purpose, though, is so that our senior residents that now can no longer mow the lawn, get whatever, they're able to continue to live in the community that they want to live in. And so that there is housing and with the amenities that are necessary. It's not assisted living, it's not Section 8, that's how we've been talking about it.
Okay, so when it's not Section 8, it's not assisted living.
It's just over, we
Over
did come up
55.
with the definition of over 55.
I could go.
Well, I can't yet.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's over 55 and, probably a one-story, building.
Facility that's constructed by the town?
No, there's, taxpayers will not have any, responsibility for this at all.
Okay.
All we're doing is trying to be the conduit to find a group, a corporation that is willing to provide this.
One of the side benefits of having somebody like Jane go look for people that will come in and put in this type of housing is that it also frees up the housing that those people,
Currently inhabited.
currently inhabit, so like the Ed Doreen Kraus that are, relying on their family to take care of their lawn and the house is too big, but they want to remain in the community, they would be able to. The Les and Margaret Vincent that had a house, they could still stay in the community. We had nothing available for any of these people to stay.
And I get that. It kind of meant that in several other places that I lived. But in New York City, it didn't mean that. So I just wanted to see where we are.
This isn't New York City.
Right, I don't know, I get it, and.
Amen, bro.
I lived in Brick, New Jersey for a while, and this, exactly what you're saying is what it meant there.
Yeah.
So just a question, and I guess as you come closer to a definition or
Well,
an answer
that's,
or whatever.
that's the other reason for, that we're, I'm promoting this, feasibility plan, because the people that write that, or once they get the grant, they will involve the community and find out what it is that you want, you don't want, and where a good placement would be and such.
So without me
So-
taking too much more time on this, because, you know, everybody. But what, but I guess will it be? Here's our latest ideas about senior housing, and it's posted on our website.
Well, I think there'll be ample notice that there will be a meeting to discuss it.
I don't want to miss this.
I know.
I mean,
Oh, he's old enough.
I'm interested, no, not, I can still cut the grass, but I'm not, it's just. So.
And Jane, it's safe to say that any project that came along would have to go through public approval, through approvals and,
Well, you'd have to go through the code. You know,
Yeah.
regular
yeah.
things, you know, yeah,
Thank you,
okay.
thank you.
Are we going under zoning rewrite?
The zoning upgrade.
Oh, yeah,
Not
an
a
update,
rewrite.
it's not a rewrite, the rewrite was already completed.
May I ask what key things are on the rewrite?
What was the question?
The key things that are in the update,
Let's see, we had cannabis.
we finished on the cannabis, we have the,
Two definitions. and it-
definitions
looking
were
at
in
that,
mostly.
and there was one other big thing, what was it?
I would have to go get my file.
I love that the item went to the night based on.
I'm sorry, I still can't hear you.
You and I have discussed off and on, is that in that rewrite?
Airbnbs are not in the rewrite, it's not a rewrite, it's just an update to some. The rewrite was done after the comprehensive plan was completed back in 2020, 2021. The rewrite was done, this is an update to some of the definitions that we've found were conflicting because of either the zoning board of appeals or the planning board, or there was things that needed to be cleaned up, and that's what the planner is doing, so. But no, Airbnbs is not part of that update.
Thank you.
Any other public comments, questions? If not, I am going to make a motion to recess to 3:30 PM on the 17th in this building. Thank you for the second.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, folks. Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they do say that.